Okay, 1 second. Okay, so my name is Nia, and I'm walking here with Dylan in beautiful Camp Karkhanis. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
But as you can see, we are students of Sudbury School. We are not staff members. We don't actually have teachers.
Yeah, we
have staff members.
Sometimes we like going on these long walks, and we have really good discussions. So we thought we'd record one.
And we're gonna have. I'm gonna see if I can. Edit this bit. Then I'm gonna give it to one of our staff members, Mr. Brian Foley. You can go to our website, southjerseyschool.org, and see him under one of the web pages. Now, so let's explain the school a little bit. Now we're just walking along. It's very free. It's a very free concept. Now, one of the main concerns is how are people going to? Oh, there's a school bus coming by.
Yeah, I don't think we really have to explain like Sudbury School. Maybe a little bit. But.
Well, I think we should, because what a lot of people's main concern is how will children get motivated to learn? You know?
And, we really hope by this podcast that
podcast, really just a walk.
Yeah,
it's
a walk. But
we're just walking. We do this every day, yeah.
We were thinking like this is just some way of showing the parents that are thinking about sending their kids here a good example of how kids will learn.
Yeah,
we thought having these good discussions is gonna.
Yeah, see, when someone is forced to do something, they normally don't want to. Like, for example, if I'm going to a public school, there's only one curriculum. There's no customization around children, correct? So what they do is basically, for example, we have school meeting. School meeting is where there's one speaker who's elected weekly. This week I'm the speaker. Anybody can nominate anybody to be speaker, or they can nominate themselves. Then everyone must vote on a speaker. I was voted as speaker this week. Now, for example, let's say Dylan's the speaker. Dylan brings up the issues on the school meeting board, and the issues can be written down by anybody. Absolutely anybody. Staff member, student, anybody, doesn't matter who wrote down the issue, staff member, student, they will both be addressed equally. Staff members have no extra power over students in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
For example, just today, a staff member was written up.
And when we mean by writing somebody up, we have a committee called the Judicial Committee, and that's where if anybody has any issues with some other person, if they think that somebody else broke a rule, then they can write that person up for the rule that they broke. And then JC, which is an elected committee that we elect.
Not an elected committee.
Oh, well.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's a committee it's a committee that's based on were you JC, like, for example, if I was on JC not for like a few weeks, then I'd be on JC this week. It's that way. But you don't have to be on JC because there's a JC opt-out list. Currently 2 of our students have written down their names on the JC opt-out list. Oh my gosh, a chipmunk. It's a beautiful here at Camp Karkhanis. And if you don't want to be on JC, that is fine. You don't have to. If you get nominated to be speaker, you can refuse the nomination. It's completely free. Now, let's go back to school meeting. We're getting a little off track. So, at school meeting, let's say I have an issue, and Dylan, as speaker, brings each issue up. So, the issue is brought up, we talk about it. Then let's say I want to make a motion on the issue, call for a vote. So I make a motion. Then what Dylan's job as speaker is to call for a vote. So he says, all in favor of this issue, you must raise your hand if you're in favor. All opposed, you must raise your hand if you're opposed to the issue. Every vote is equal. Staff member, student, you are not forced to join school meeting. You do not have to join school meeting, but most people do because it's really interesting and it's awesome how to shape school. If you don't like a rule and you think it's bad, then you can go to school meeting and ask school meeting, hey guys, everybody, you can ask, everybody is your peer at Sudbury School. So you ask your peers, I want to abolish this, and then you ask for a motion, and if you get the majority vote, that rule is abolished. If we want to, a perfect example of what people like to say is that, oh, but if I let my kids do whatever they want, all they're gonna do is eat candy all day.
Yeah, but really, maybe some kids will like to play video games every once in a while, but really, you just get bored of video games pretty quickly.
Yeah, really, honestly. Like, the thing is, if I'm forced to do something, I'm going to want to do the thing I want, which is, for example, play video games. But here, I can do whatever I want, so I have the freedom to do whatever I want. And children want to learn. Otherwise, we wouldn't be the people where we were today, because we wouldn't have wanted to learn. How do you think schools were created? There wasn't a school the second we existed. No, we had to think everything into existence. So we have to want to learn. It's an instinctive nature.
It's
in our nature. It's in our nature. Why do you think we're so powerful? Why do you think our brains are just so unbelievably powerful? Why do you think our relationships with the primates are so far? Because they think poop at each other, and we are building cars and spaceships.
Neil, I was watching this one video last night, and I wanted to see like what do teachers watch like YouTube videos. And so I looked up this one guy, and it was like he just kept going on about how to manipulate your students. It was like a public school, how to keep your classroom at a controlled volume. I was listening to him, and it was so just terrible.
That's not how the real world is. The reason kids, whenever I walk up to somebody, or anybody in Sudbury School for that matter, walks up to somebody, I always see people who are foreign to the class and say, "Oh my gosh, you are so mature." Everybody is equal. No, nobody. And we were talking about how staff members, how people think that children don't want to learn. Like, Dylan, if I wanted to have candy, if I wanted to spend all of the school money on candy, which we have school money and anybody can decide, right, Dylan?
Yeah, but real money, not like fake school
not
money.
Fake money. No, seriously, real money. The school has money. And if we wanted, the school has money. Okay. No, but we actually, so what I could do is, for example, there's a Wawa
spend all our
down the
tens
street.
of dollars.
We can still spend all of the school's tens of dollars, because you can spend the school's tens of dollars on Wawa if wanted. So I could technically do it. For example, I could bring to school meeting Wawa, and I could say, "Hey everybody, I want to spend all the school money on Wawa." The school would be broke after that. No one could do anything. The school would shut down. Everyone has the power to do that. But
since
people don't want to do that,
Yeah.
because we're competent. Humans are competent. People are competent. People know what they want to do.
People realize that
And if a staff
when
member
you're broke, then you can't go
And
to
if a
school
staff member
anymore.
disrespects you, and this is how it is in the real world, right? In the real world, it's not you have no decision. You have to learn how to make your own decisions in the real world.
Yeah, you can't just have somebody boss you around your entire life.
South Jersey Sudbury School introduces that concept. I remember, Dylan, like whenever you have to be very diplomatic with people when they're irritated with you, which is great, because sometimes people would be like, I've had multiple people, newcomers,
They don't like the diplomacy of
and
it.
they would say like, you're just a coward. Why are you doing this? You're so stupid doing this, or you're so dumb. And I'd be like, that's not how it works in South Jersey Summer School. Nope, you can't do that. You have to be diplomatic. They said, oh, that's stupid. Write them up. They go to JC and they get told what to do. Not by staff members, by students. JC has 2 students and 1 staff member. And if you don't like that, heck, if you come to South Jersey Summer School, bring it up on school meeting, and you don't have to have staff members on there. The way it works right now is there's 1 younger student, 1 older student, and a staff member on JC. Now, if you wanted to, you could just ban that rule entirely and have JC only consist of 3 students and a staff member's optional, not necessary. But
we've decided that if one staff member writes up another staff member, then they have to be a committee of 3 JC members that are all kids.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about like if that wasn't the case.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So students have the power. Staff members have the power. Everyone is equal at South Jersey Sudbury School. Now we do have Dylan, you know how we do have what we do have is, what's the word? We have levels of clearance where you can go. Like, for example, so when you come to South Jersey Sudbury School, you will start off as level 0, right, Dylan?
Mm-hmm.
So level 0 is where basically you really can't do anything. You have to be in eyesight of a staff member at all times, be inside the building. Or if you're going outside, you need to be with the staff member at all times. That's where you start off. Now, and then there's I'll tell you how to rank up. I will tell Dylan, we can talk about how to rank up in the levels later, but let's talk about what levels are, right, Dylan? So, level 1. Would you want to explain that, Dylan?
Well, level 1 is you have to go most places with a level 3 student or a staff member.
And you can go around, there's like a little road around the building that you can go on.
There's a little road around the building, and that's how far you can go by yourself as a level 1
And that's
student.
level 1. Level 2, there are certain designated areas where you can go, but you cannot have free roaming completely. Now, and level 3 is anywhere on the campus. Okhinikin campus, right? And the campus, which is Okhinikin. You can go anywhere you want. Now, finally, level 4. This is the big one. Level 4, the way it works is, first of all, to be level 4, you need to get a school ID. School IDs only cost $9, and that's not even profit because it's just so we can pay the laminator, who's Dylan's uncle. And
my uncle's training some people how to rock climb.
yeah. Oh, there. Okay.
I actually see him.
Oh. Okay. So, moving on. Pay the laminator. And yeah, once you get the school ID, then you can go off campus. You can go off campus. It means I can go onto the main road to walk to Wawa, which would be a long walk, but I can theoretically.
For those of you who don't know what Wawa is, it's like a better 7-Eleven.
Yeah, it's like a better 7-Eleven, a much better. Well, if you live in New Jersey, this is Sudbury Suburbs. Well, you might not live in New Jersey. Look for Sudbury School near you. If you're not living in Sudbury, this is South Jersey Sudbury School after all. But Wawa, it's awesome, better than 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Like people who have Wawas in their state understand this. People from 7-Eleven don't understand this. Yeah. So, and yeah, so the way it works is, you know, how, when you write down, like for example, let's say I just came to the school, right, Dylan? And you're level, and we go to school meeting, I can write down the school meeting board, I want to be level 1, because I'm level 0. Then school meeting votes, and normally they pass it, but let's say your parent doesn't want you to be level 4, because they don't want you wandering out, right? What they do is, if you want to be level 1, your parents have to sign a permission slip. So the process is, I'm level 0. Let's say I want to be level 1. If school meeting votes yes for level 1, which they most likely will, unless you like
Are really
hit somebody,
incompetent.
and you hit somebody, or you're really incompetent. Then in that case, then what they do is you're not level 1 yet. Nope. You have to get a permission slip. Get your legal guardian to sign it.
Now, normally, like the Sudbury school, we try and put parents out. The process as much as possible.
This is the only
But this
process
is
where
really
the parents
the
are
only process
and
where
field
the
trips.
parents are involved.
And field trips.
Yes, and field trips.
Those are the only 2 processes where the parents are involved. Only 2. So, and the same is for everyone. So let's say now I'm level 3, yay, but I want to be level 4. So what I have to do is level 4 is probably the most that requires things to be done. So what you need to do is, this is the order for level 4. Go to school meeting, get voted in. Not that hard, by the way, as long as you're not horribly incompetent.
Then you have to get
your legal guardian to sign it,
and you have to get an ID.
and you have to get a school ID, which is pay one of our staff members. One of our staff members. Then one of our staff members take a picture of you. Then you gotta wait about a week for them to get it done and laminated. Then give you your school ID. Because the thing is, if you're stopped by a police officer, which could happen, most likely not, but if it does happen, if you're off campus and you got stopped by a police officer, say, why aren't you at school, kid? You can say, I am at school. Here's my school ID, and it says on the back why I'm wandering, and here are the staff members' numbers. That's school ID. Really cool. So yeah. So
I think that's the last of our introduction. I don't really know what else we have to introduce.
So
So yeah, that's the introduction.
So yeah.
And
walk with us again.
that's us again.